Before you rent, buy, or even go on a property tour in Surrey, you need to watch this. We all know not all neighborhoods are the same, but some you really need to be aware of before you actually plan your move into Surrey. Hi, my name is Roshan Victor. I'm a local realtor here in the Fraser Valley, and today we are pulling the curtains back on some of the areas and things that do not make it to any listing brochure. The top 3 most dangerous neighborhoods in Surrey to live in. This is based on crime stats, community feedback, and what I have personally seen on the ground. Don't get me wrong. I live in the city. I love the city. It is fast growing. It has a great community feel. It's vibrant. Like every growing city, it has its own share of crime. And if you're not aware of which pockets to avoid, you would be putting more on the line than just your peace of mind. So stick around as we explore today the different areas of Surrey which you really need to know about, and I'll share some tips and tricks which you can keep in mind in your arsenal so that you make the right decision for your family while choosing Surrey. So stick around with me as we go through the 3 areas that you need to avoid in Surrey, and also we'll share with you some tips which can save you the trouble of actually making the wrong neighborhood your home. So let's talk about the first neighborhood, Guildford. Guildford is not all that bad. It has a great mall, it has a great community vibe, closer to Highway 1. Of late there has been an uptake in the crime activity, especially if you're talking about the 104-148 area, and this is related to 2 things: older condos and also a strong dense population of rental homes. Most of the crime is break and enter, car theft, and occasional assaults. But it's not all doom and gloom in Guildford, because a couple of streets away you have detached homes, a great community vibe, cul-de-sac, and everything is great. Yes, it is that localized in Guildford. It's not that the entire community or sub area is bad. Certain pockets have to be avoided, and the unfortunate part is you cannot actually know this during the day. You have to make it a point of visiting these areas after sunset. That's when you will see those activities. So here's a tip. If you are in the market looking at areas, not only do a drive-through during a Saturday and a Sunday during open house times, but also go back to those areas after sunset and scout them. And another cool tip for you, I always tell this to my clients: if the price is too good to be true, find out why it is too good to be true. Certain aspects like crime, certain aspects like homelessness and drug use may be influencing the price. So you may get it for a cheaper price, but that may not give you the peace of mind. Now let's talk about the second most dangerous neighborhood, which is Whalley, also known as Surrey City Centre. Now this area, when you look from the surface, it looks amazing. Tall skyscrapers, great access to sky trains, and the entire area is transforming pretty quick. But what Surrey Centre is dealing with is high crime rate, which is strongly associated to drug usage, homelessness. So what you see mostly out there are petty thefts, sometimes altercations, and car break-ins if left unattended. Certain spots like the King George SkyTrain station or the Gateway station, certain areas a couple of streets away from there is a lot of homelessness. Those are the areas to avoid. But here's the good part. The city of Surrey, along with the developers, is working really hard of actually transforming this area, regentrifying it, and making sure that all of those homelessness related crimes is reduced. They have increased the community monitoring of those areas, and in overall, with the new developments coming in, there is a huge potential for future growth. And if you're an investor, definitely this is one area you need to look at to maximize your returns over a 10 to 15 year period. Avoid Whalley to be their home. A young family is what I would say. I would recommend not to consider Whalley as an area to live in, simply because of the fact that for a growing young family, you need a lot more neighborhoods which are family friendly, and Whalley is more for renters new immigrants coming to the city, and young business professionals. Now let's talk about the third most dangerous neighborhood called Newton. Newton has a stigma attached to that name because it consistently ranks higher on the crime index and an area to look out for. Yes, there are certain pockets in Newton which have gang-related violence, but if you know of those areas and you can avoid that, rest of Newton is pretty good. One particular area I would like to highlight is King George and 72, that intersection. That's where you will see not gang-related activities, but a lot more theft. Now let's talk about Newton, the third most dangerous neighborhood in Surrey. Every video that you look around, they talk about Newton and how it ranks higher in crime all across Surrey. Some of the things that are associated with Newton are vehicle break-ins, vandalism, theft, and occasional altercations and assaults. This is more predominant in the area which is King George and 72, the commercial side of it. That's where it is predominantly there. Yes, Newton also has a certain exposure to gang violence, but that is very isolated in certain pockets. And if you're aware of them and you're able to avoid that, rest of Newton is pretty affordable. Whether you're detached homes, townhouses or condos, it is an affordable place to live in with a great community culture and great sense of safety and good schools as well. It is perfect for those families who are working class and are on a budget. But make sure you are avoiding areas which I mentioned and work with a professional who knows these areas and knows which areas to avoid. So like I mentioned, that I would be sharing 3 tips which I can give you, which can help you in your home search. The first tip is walk the neighborhood of which you're considering buying during the day, during the evening time, and during the night after sunset. The second, check the local crime map. It's available, it's accessible. Just Google it, you will find it, and make a note of that and scout those areas accordingly. Third most important thing, which I feel is very underrated, is talk to the neighbors. If there's a complex you are actually looking at or a neighborhood you're looking at, go on to different forums, read it, other places, and also talk to the neighbors while you're there looking at properties. This will help you get a better look and feel and know-how of that neighborhood in particular. And if you're still not sure and wondering what areas to avoid and what you should be looking at, give me a call. Let's quickly chat about what your requirements are and which areas you need to avoid. A link to my calendar is in the description below. Looking forward to chatting with you so that we can set a one-on-one time to speak about your specific requirements. I'm happy to help you through this process and get you into a home which is not only a good return on your investment, but also safe. Thank you so much for watching. Watch my other videos on Surrey, which I've also created in the playlist below. And until next time, have yourself a wonderful day.